didn't wobble it enough. You're gonna break it at that rate. Oh my god. It was nice knowing you, I guess. Is that it then? Are we done here? She's just walked off.
Ice.
She's back and she's got the ice. Well, that was clumsy. Alright, it's not a race. You could have just not spilt the ice in the first place.
More ice.
What? You don't need any more ice. Half of it's already ice. Now look what you've done. There's no room for any coffee or caramel.
Damn, that's a lot of ice.
Hey!
I forgot to put caramel.
You what? Wait, caramel. I think you forgot the caramel. That was actually quite a cool beat. Caramel. Caramel. I've forgotten it.
Yes.
Well, at least you didn't forget it.
Yum.
Not quite, but I see what you mean. Anyway, you're drinking it. What the hell? Yeah, you just ended it. She's coming for me now. I'm just kidding. Bad player. Stop.
Just kidding. But today, I'm getting my together.
What the is going on?
Black. Using this caramel macchiato creamer.
Sounds healthy. Caramel macchiato cream. I think you forgot the
Motivation.
motivation. Got enough caffeine there to invade a small country.
Straw.
If you just combine stir and straw into one word. Stop. Jesus.
We're all entrepreneurs.
Is that Miss Carter's voice? Oh my god, her mic is still on. One time, his teacher left the room to take a quick phone call, but she forgot that her microphone was on, and the entire class heard everything. So this teacher had one of those little mics that would clip to your shirt and connect to some speakers in the classroom because her voice was naturally very quiet. She gets a phone call, so she steps out into the hallway, and she shuts the door behind her, and then suddenly, no, because I'm not doing this again, Brian, it blasts through the classroom like an announcement. Everyone just goes dead silent. You said you were going to handle the wedding invites, and now I'm the bad guy? She was pacing the hallway, full-on arguing with this Brian guy, but the room could hear every single word through the speakers. I don't care if your mom doesn't like it, she's not the one getting married, Brian. Someone in the back whispered, Brian is so done for, man. The teacher then walks back in, and the class is just sitting there silently staring at the speakers. Did you guys hear all that? She turned bright red, turned off her mic, and went back to teaching like nothing happened. And here's the part that I'm sure some of you are wondering. The engagement was called off a couple months later. Is that Miss...
Millhouse's big belly is actually fake. He's been secretly training just to win the running championship. Martin overheard this news by chance. He bet all his money on Millhouse winning.
Millhouse? That's 1,000 to 1 odds.
The race started soon. Millhouse did take the lead. He thought this would be the best day of his life. But if Millhouse won, those bullies would lose a fortune. To stop Millhouse from winning the championship, the bullies sent Nelson to block him. Nelson pretended to hand Millhouse some water and took the chance to knock him down.
The best day of my life just turned into every other day of my life.
Bart saw this happen. He had two choices. One was to get beaten up along with his best friend. The other was to run away like a coward. In the end, Bart ignored Milhouse's cries for help. He sprinted to the finish line and became the champion. Bart took the trophy on the stage with a guilty conscience. At the same time, Milhouse also temporarily lost his memory from the beating. Bart sighed with relief when he heard the news, but that night he had a nightmare. He dreamed that Milhouse was calling for his help everywhere. When he woke up with a start, Bart saw a feather. He thought Maggie was using the feather to accuse him.
I suck. You suck.
The next day, Tatum invited Bart to join the All-Star sports team. Racked with guilt, Bart also invited Milhouse to come up on stage. He wanted to tell the truth, but didn't dare to mention those bullies.
Rather than try to figure out what happened, Milhouse had the courage to move on. To me, that's a hero.
The bullies flicked rubber bands at Milhouse's head. Milhouse remembered what happened on the day of the race. He recalled that Bart had just stood by, watching him get bullied.
Bart Simpson.
If this M&M is yellow, I think I want to date it.
I'm alone forever.
If this one is green, so it's clean house. If this one is brown, everyone watching has to subscribe right now.
Oh, okay. Then please, maybe you guys would just subscribe still because I'm never gonna get to 10 million. Maybe you could just do it, guys.
If I pick orange, you have to set me up with your brother.
What?
If this M&M is blue, I get a hand. You have to now. If this M&M...
Excuse me, I would like to report some suspicious activity. Okay. I saw a passenger steal things from the point.
My neighbor kept destroying our snowmen, so I made sure the next one fought back. We'd spent the whole day building an 8-foot snowman, and it was just getting dark when I saw the headlights turn onto our street. The truck plowed straight through it, and snow exploded everywhere. My youngest was standing next to me and started crying. I didn't know how to tell him that some people were just mean, so I pointed at the scattered snow. You know what though? Did you see how far the head flew? That was actually kind of cool. My youngest wiped his eyes and nodded. It went really far. I smiled. Next time let's build it right by the street and watch it happen. The next Saturday we built another one right by the street, and my boys pressed their faces against the window at night watching for the truck. When it came roaring down and demolished the snowman, they jumped up and down. The head went so far, Dad. We did this for 3 years. Build, watch, rebuild. Then my youngest stopped running. He couldn't get out of bed some mornings. The doctors gave us a number of weeks, and my son made me promise we'd build one more. So I pushed his wheelchair outside, and he sat there wrapped in blankets, pointing where to pack the snow. His brothers rolled the middle section while I lifted it into place. It took us all day. When we finished, I hammered stakes into the ground around it and tied rope. I wrote, "Please don't hit this one" on cardboard and hung it on the rope. 3 days later, he died. I knew they'd come for the snowman eventually, so I walked across the street and knocked on my neighbor's door. My hand was shaking. The father opened the door, and I looked him in the eye. "My son just died. That snowman is the last memory I have of him. Please leave this one alone." He looked at me for maybe half a second, then shrugged. "That's rough and all, but it's just a snowman." I heard his son laugh from inside. The door slammed in my face. 2 days after we buried my son, I was lying in bed when I heard the engine. I ran to the window and watched headlights turn onto our street. The truck accelerated straight toward the snowman, hit dead center, and snow exploded into the air. The father was hanging out the passenger window cheering, and that's when I knew he had to pay. I went upstairs and shook my boys awake. "Get dressed, we're rebuilding it." We worked through the night rolling snowballs under the streetlights. My older sons didn't say anything, just kept packing snow. I built this one directly around the fire hydrant at the edge of my property, carefully positioning each layer around the metal. After they went to bed, I dragged the hose out and soaked it. I did this for 3 straight nights, watering and letting it freeze until the snow was solid ice. Then I sat by the window every night watching the street. My boys would come downstairs asking if tonight was the night. A week passed. Then I heard it. That engine. I grabbed my phone and started recording. The truck came flying down the street and slammed into my snowman at full speed. The sound was like a car crash, metal crunching. The truck's entire front end crumpled. The impact ripped the hydrant off its base, and water shot 30 feet straight up into the air. The truck spun, and water shot everywhere, flooding the street as the father kicked open his door and crawled out. When he turned to look at my house, my boys and I were standing in the window. We all raised our middle fingers at the same time and went to bed smiling. My neighbor kept destroying our snowmen, so I made sure the next one...
Bart connected all the speakers together. A massive sound wave swept through the entire town of Springfield, shattering every window in its path. Even Homer's beer couldn't escape the sonic assault. It took an hour for the sound wave to completely dissipate. The police chief demanded that Bart be sent to military school for reform, but Marge worried that Bart would be bullied there. The next day, Bart packed his bags, thinking he was going to Disneyland.
Military school? You lied to me!
I'm sorry if you heard Disneyland, but I distinctly said military school.
The commandant introduced the curriculum, explaining that the school's high standards were designed to unlock each student's potential. Although it was a military school, poetry was also taught here. Lisa's eyes lit up, as this was a subject never taught at her school. After looking around, Homer decided to leave Bart here. Bart clung to Homer's leg, desperately pleading.
Let go my leg. Done. For the last time, you're staying at military school. So am I.
The three of them were shocked when Lisa announced she wanted to stay too, because the military school had everything she wanted. Marge hoped she would think it over carefully. The commandant was reluctant to agree since there wasn't a single female cadet here, but under Lisa's persistent requests, the commandant finally agreed.
Welcome